Welcome, Gunners! Welcome to the legacy!
The strongest side at the moment. I think you'd have to put Arsenal and Man City in amongst them too. That team, but I think when I've seen PSG, I know they warm into it. They did last season as well, and certainly the Real Madrid side I saw tonight, they can't win it. They can't win it without. I watched Barcelona at times. It's just a joy watching them play. But with the high line that they employ, they will get beat in this competition by teams who exploit them. Liverpool could go deep. I think they're suited towards it as well. The English teams want to stay clear of each other because they know, I think they have won the evidence of what we saw tonight. You have more chance of beating, the teams from Spain, and the Italian side scraped through as well. Certainly Atlanta tonight. We don't know what's going to happen with that Galatasaray and Juve thing. I've got my eye close on that one. Maybe Tottenham could draw them, or Athletic as well, go through. So, yeah, I would say they're right up there with a chance to win it, the English teams. But I think Bayern Munich just look irresistible at the moment.
You share that view, Lee?
I've said Arsenal. I feel like Arsenal they've got an equipped squad to really go and push on this season.
I couldn't say that.
No, you couldn't say that, but I'll say I've said this. I feel that Arsenal can go and win trophies this season, and I think looking at the sides that I've watched up to now, I think Arsenal are equipped. But when we get to these sort of final stages of the competition, this is where the big clubs really step up and perform. This is where Arsenal, I feel that they've got the squad depth. It's whether they have got, the sort of, I don't know what word I'm looking for. Whether they've got that calibre of squad. Nous. Yeah. Cheers, Dams. No, but it's massive in these competitions because people don't understand playing in Europe and playing in the domestic leagues. It's completely different. There's a lot at stake. So that's the only reason I'd probably say that Arsenal might fail. But I do think they're strong enough to really go and compete this season.
Brilliant stuff.
Troy, you've done a little pie chart for us, right?
Yes.
Who's the favourite of all 6 English clubs? Let's have a look.
Yeah, just a little pie chart on how I see these. Again, you're looking at, I've gone Arsenal and Man City, both 30% each. I think Arsenal have got the best team and the best squad, but there's that unknown. We're not sure in the Champions League. They've never won it in their history. Man City have won it in their history. They are coming now, Lico, into a phase of where they go, okay, it started to fit right. Got Donnarumma there, obviously won it last year. Got Haaland for the goals. It feels a bit different. So I can't really split those two. Liverpool, I'm always going to give them a chance because of the history that they've had as a club in this competition. And obviously they've got players coming back. If they are to progress all the way through, they could have the likes of Isak back on the bench and places like that. Chelsea, 10% just because they've won the Club World Cup. They won a European competition last year. Got such a young, talented team. Not sure on the manager overall in these competitions because we haven't seen him yet. So I'll give him a 10% chance. Newcastle, very similar because of their ability to be strong, organised, so good from set pieces. They get to tweak their team depending on who they play over 2 legs. And then Tottenham Hotspur got about as much chance of me playing again as them winning this. So
Impossible. It's never 0% though. Huh? It's never 0%.
Okay, they don't have a good team. We're not sure how the manager is. They've got no confidence through the team. They've got 13 fit players. It's not 0%, but it's as close as it can be.
Welcome, Peter. You've just refereed the North London derby, a huge game in the Premier League. How does it feel? That's sort of almost the pinnacle of a referee's career in many ways.
It is a fantastic occasion. These sort of games are really important to the fans. Atmosphere-wise, intensity-wise, the really special occasions. I've had some experience already of other big derbies in other cities. But this one, it's special to be involved in such a big occasion.
Do you referee the game differently in bigger games? For example, do you let a bit more go because you realise it's a derby, or do you just keep to the same principles?
We try to keep to the same principles. I think that's only fair for all of the fixtures that I officiate in the competition. I'll always try and give a little bit of leeway early on in the game. If I can have a higher threshold for penalising offences, fine. If there's an opportunity to manage, understanding the pressures and the tension, potentially I will do. But ultimately, if somebody does something early on in the game where you need to get a yellow card out, then that will happen regardless of the fixture.
Yeah, and in terms of preparation for the game, of course, it's a big one coming up. You know how much it matters, both ends of the table.
Yeah.
what would your typical week look like going into a game like that?
Well, it'll be the normal sort of training physically, but obviously I'm going to look at some tactics. We get a lot of clips and information through our analysts team at PGMO.
On the players that you're about to referee?
On the players, it's, I'll know the players anyway. I've seen Arsenal and Tottenham a few times already this season. But again, there'll be some certain trends, whether they, for example, man-to-man press at goal kicks, how they potentially set up at set pieces. It's just given us some, really good information going into the game, so we're well prepared.
Yeah. And in terms of refereeing nowadays, it's changed an awful lot. How have you managed that, that process over the last few years, technology coming in? That must have been a real difficult situation for a lot of referees.
It has been difficult, but again, we get a lot of training away from the pitch from PGMO. So VAR came in and we were doing a lot of work for a year behind the scenes. We've obviously got communication kits, which we've worn for a number of years. It's not just a case of going into the game blind. We have a lot of training and we do a lot of things at training camps where we can be well prepared for fixtures.
In terms of, we just saw a few clips of you wearing ref cam. I think it's fascinating for the viewer. Does that make any difference in terms of how you referee the game, how you talk to the players, or is that purely natural?
No, you're conscious before the game that you're wearing it, obviously, and I'm sure the players can see it, but it doesn't change anything I do. I'll try and speak to the players in the right manner throughout. There's sometimes you've got to be a little bit firmer with them, but I think it's a good tool for people to see just how we do interact, and the players equally are very, very respectful to me, in the majority of occasions. So once it's on, it's business as usual.
I think it was generally recognised that this game you had a very good game, although you know what's coming.
I do, yes.
There was one big decision in the game that's got everyone talking, and in many ways, you almost feel sorry for a referee because some people think this is a foul, some people think it's not. You're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. But just let's have a look at it from your angle. This is ref cam. I'll slow it down a little bit.
Yeah.
And we'll just have another look at that in a moment. So we see that push. I think it's fair to say there's two hands on the back of Gabriel there.
Yeah.
And we'll just cue that up again and play it again, just so we get your view of it. What did you see there? What was going through your mind there?
So obviously I'm in a position I'd expect to be for a cross coming in from the right hand side. I see two hands from the Tottenham player into the back of the Arsenal player, and that is going to be my main focus. Once you see two hands in live play, it looks like a push, a clear push. I delayed the whistle so that the play could continue. Then obviously give my final decision once the ball had gone into the goal, and that allows the VAR then to potentially check if I've misread something or it doesn't quite look right. But on field, it looked a very, very clear offence. Yeah, and obviously VAR didn't send you to the monitor. They were happy that you didn't, make a mistake, let's say. Let's just have a look at it again from a different angle. Yeah. Once you have a look at these angles, you're quite... I mean, listen, I can be... I've got no specific... Not an interest, but it doesn't matter to me who wins that. I see that, and in real time, I'm in the crowd, and I think that's a foul. I agreed with you. Yes. When I watch it like that, I do think there's an exaggeration from Gabriel. However... that's what we all would do to try to get the decision. Of course. Having seen it again in this, there's nothing happened in this action, let's say, that you felt as if you missed on the day. Not at all. I'm still comfortable. Obviously, different speeds can make things look different. In slow motion, it can look different to what you see live. I get one look at it, and I was more than happy that the two hands on the back had enough impact and was an offence. I understand there's going to be split opinions on it, but for me, I'm still comfortable that is enough for a free kick. Yeah, and from a footballer's point of view, after this game, we'll all have a debrief and we'll talk about what we did well and did badly, and of course, you'll have your own views on your own performance, and just like we would. What's the process afterwards in terms of a debrief? Do you speak to the bosses? Do you look at it yourself? How does all that work?